Okay, yes, I know the screen is black, but we're going to watch a video. So here we go. See? These people are making solar panels. This plant is in China. There's also a plant in the Philippines, if I could ever get them to answer a few simple technical questions. And we'll just let this video run because I think it's interesting. What we're going to do here with this video is show the choices narrowed down on the components you need for an off-grid solar system. We're going to cover all the big money pieces. You still need some MC4 wire connectors and stuff, and some wire, preferably silicon-coated wire, but we're not going to cover the itty-bitty pieces because they don't add up to $100 for the whole system. Probably don't add up to $50 other than the wire. Okay, what's interesting here, I don't know how to expand this, at least not quick. The thing we're looking at here is solar panels. You know, solar panel. Oh, yeah, you can see that. This is a 500 watt solar panel. I can remember when 230 was a big panel. But this one has 96 cells in it. But the number you're looking for is here at the bottom. It says 18 cents to 22 cents a watt. And you pick the size of watts you want from a line up here. The smallest this thing is made in is 440 watts, and it goes out to 500. Now, the 500 is a bigger physical dimension panel because it's got the, was it 96 cells we just said in it? So you have to have your framework ready to accept your number of panels. But if I'm using 24 panels at 500 watts, I got 12,000 watts of solar. And that's the game there. We're going to try to jump this up bigger. Not happening. Yep, now it's happening. Okay. Things of interest on here. Well, the place of origin is not really interesting because you buy it and they ship it. Don't care where it's from. We have the physical dimensions. Now, this is in millimeters, and most panels over the world is dimensions in millimeters. But most of them have it inches out here beside it. This one doesn't happen to. But you remember 1,000 millimeters is 39.37 inches. So this thing's almost twice 40. It's almost 80 inches long. This is a 500 watt. They show down here it comes in 440, 450, 47500. A number of bypass diodes, you won't need to know that. This is monocrystalline cells. They make more power than they generally make more power than polycrystalline. They make a crystal and then they slice it with a laser. So it's one cell. It's not a bunch of pieces of molecules stuck together. Down here it tells you that the 96 are arranged in 8 to a row and 12 columns. This is the important thing. You need to know this number. 48.6 volt. Now, they'll rewire it to any kind of way you want, but stick with the number they got. It's 48.6 volts. This is important because you're going to put this into an inverter, and you have to match up the inverter. Its open circuit voltage can't be exceeded, and its number of watts of input, it can be exceeded. It just won't use it. There's MPPT, maximum power point tracking. When you approach the rated capacity inverter, it just clips off the rest of the power to ground. So you want to match those things up so you get all you can out of your panels. Of course, now you'll get 100% of what they put out anytime they're not putting out full amount, and which is there's only 5 hours in the middle of the day. This 100% power. Panel efficiency. This is an important number. 19.5%. Can you remember when it was 11? It's an OEM brand. This is actually from the place where they're manufactured. This listing is on. We're going to do all the listings mostly today on Alibaba.com because I can open tabs to them, and I pretty much have settled on these companies and these products. So this is the ones we're going to be using. When you have all your panels, the next thing you need is a combiner box. And I can't slide the screen like I can with CAD. I chose this combiner box. It's $32 a box. We're not going to buy them from this particular supplier because he's got a minimum order of 30 pieces, which, you know, if you buy them at it's $320 for 30 of them. But anyway, $32 is about the price, and you just have to look around and find an ad that's selling them by ones, or buy them from U.S. stock, and you can buy one at a time. What you're looking for here? Oh, yes. Well, no, it won't stay. Yeah, maybe it will. Okay, at the bottom, we have photo panels coming in. 2 strings, that's panels in series, and 2 more strings of panels in series. So you have 4 strings. For my 24, that would take 6 in a row. I can't put that kind of power into the inverter because it's way past the inverter capacities that I'm looking at. But being that this is separated, I can run this set here into one inverter and the set over here into the other inverter. Now you have, these are fuses. Fuses are preferred because they blow instantly. Circuit breakers take a while to load and heat up the Mallory metal and melt and trip. And some of them never trip. Not until the thing is already on fire. But fuses, they're bang, you know. You can get fuses full of sand they call slow burn, and they have a real long time, like a quarter of a second, you know, which can get you in trouble with electronics. Okay, that goes up to circuit breakers. So you come right out of the fuses into circuit breakers in the same box. Now, this one has got a lightning protector. It's a surge protector. Rather than just coming out of these circuit breakers, it's going to go around the top and go into this, and then you come out of the bottom, and that goes to your inverters eventually, because you're going to have to put a circuit breaker between this box and the bottom of the inverter so you can turn it off to work on it, and everybody knows it's off, because we're dealing with really high voltages. I'm going to have 450 volts going into my inverter through this thing. So you really don't want to put your hand in there with that kind of, the wattage is high, the amps is high, and then the voltage is, it'll just plain kill you. Okay, what do we got here? So after we come out of the combiner box, this goes underneath of your solar panels, under your racks that the panels are on. It gives you a place to bring all your wires into all these bottom ports of wires in and wires out. You down here? Can we? Hey, that does go up and down. This is DIN reel mounted, which is a nice thing because you put a screwdriver and a little notch thing down here. You can pop that off and change it. There's no bolts or screws holds it down. It's pretty secure on a DIN reel. Also, this box has got a rubber gasket on a composite plastic box. This would work underwater, you know, and this outdoor. So we call this a Nemaphore enclosure because it's got the rubber seal on it. And it's got snap locks. You can get them from Alibaba with a place to put a padlock. You can get them with just a handle that locks. You can get them with a combination lock that closes the door. There's a lot of variety, but I picked this one. I just had to get it from somebody who sells them one at a time. Then you're going to go into an inverter. Let's take a look at the inverters. We're going to look at 2 different brands. These are both brands. Most of their inverters from both these 2 brands is right under $1,000. They're like $990 and $899 and in there. This is a little lower price. So let's see if we can figure out why this one is lower priced. Now, this is an off-grid, says right on it, big letters, off-grid applications. It puts out 5,000 watts. Next thing we need to know is the voltage of batteries it uses. This uses 48 volts. You get 12, 24, 48. Those are the common ones. You can make what you want, but that's what you can buy 100 different brands of if you stick to those 3 voltages. Another item here, you can't quite read up here. This is 450 volts DC. So your string of photocells, we were looking at some that were 42 volts. I can't put 10 42s together and be 420 because that would just be kind of pushing it. But I could put less than 10. I could put 8. But I'm only going to put 6. That's all I need to put because I'm going to have 4 inverters. So this 6 is 240 volts. So I'm way below the 450 volt limit. Now some of these, the open circuit voltage limit is 250. Below that, don't buy it. It's so old of stock and so old of technology that, and it costs at least the same amount. So this is one of the things that helps you determine you're getting something fairly modern. And all these different, like yellow generally means off-grid from this company. Okay, and in Alibaba, you've fortunately got a specification sheet. Let's see here. That's kind of working. Oh, it's got the model number. Okay, the first thing you see here that is relevant is output voltage. This is 224/40 output. There's no 110 in this. We're going to cover that in a minute. But if you have one of your inverters that is grid tied, it needs to be a 240 volt. It can be split phase 120, 120, 240, but you're going to pay an extra $400 for something you'll never use. So you on this one, because it's only a single voltage level going out, if I was buying this for grid tied and it had the grid tie software in it, then this would be a good thing. Input voltage over here, 220 and 240. It's not on the screen. Try to get all of it on the screen. Yeah, that's pretty much. 220 and 240. You got to be careful here because the grid in the U.S. comes into your house at 240. You split it off to 110 with a neutral. But in the Philippines, we don't have 110. They won't let you have that center tap on the transformer. We got a transformer in the front yard, right where we built the house. In our yard, it's 20 feet from the wall of the house. They won't let us have power at all. That's why we're going solar. And if they did, they wouldn't let us have that center wire. The boat's sitting up there just to irritate me. But if this is 110 and you're in a 240 volt country, you can't use the line power to charge your batteries up on days that it's pouring down rain for 3 days straight. We have typhoons. Some countries call them monsoons. I don't know what they call them in the U.S. We don't have rainy season so much in the U.S. We have months it rains more, but not rainy season. Anyway, I would always go for one that's 240 or 120-240. Few of those, but 240 got to be there. Output current, this is the amps you can send to your house. This is 21 amps. Obviously, that's not enough to run a modern U.S. house. And it's really not enough to run a house in the Philippines. You about need a 50 amp fuse over there on 220 volts. That would be the same as same wattage as a 100 amp fuse in the U.S. I've lived in houses that had 50 amp fuses in the U.S. I lived in one for 25 years. And I'll blow it once in a while. I couldn't have the air conditioning and the clothes dryer or water heater on at the same time. Other than that, it didn't blow it. Parallel capability. That's an important thing. This allows you to put 9 inverters all parallel to each other. So that would be 189 amps. You're talking 200 amp service with that. And if you're going for a lot of amps, you're looking for a brand like MPP or GrowWatt, one of the ones in this price range. They're not the cheapest out there, but they're not the $7,000 ones either. This one has down here equalization charge. Unless you were using lead acid batteries, you'll never use this. They do that. They boost the voltage up for so many seconds, and then they cut it and they boost it again. That desulficates the well, the word means take the sulfur out of the solution. Your plates in your battery so they last. Down here, this is kind of important. 80 amps is what you can charge into your batteries. Now, these batteries, they have what's called a BMS, Battery Management System, down here on the bottom. I don't think my pointer's on the same place on the screen. Anyway, it has 4 types of BMS support in this inverter. And you can select user defined and change all the parameters when you're setting up. This 450 volt coming in, that's important. Continuous output, that's important. Maximum charging is important. Now, what model is this? This is a 5048. Now, there's some numbers that aren't on that sheet, unfortunately. So I downloaded the manuals and all the ones I was interested in. A 5048. Weighs 19 kilograms. Okay, so when you see 19 kilograms, anywhere from 13 to like 21, that means you've not got a big honking transformer in there. This is all electronic. When you get into another model we're going to look at that's 52 kilograms, that means it's got a giant transformer in there. You won't find the big transformers in any of them that are grid tied because the reaction time is too slow, and the lead and lag that you can put on the phase shift you just can't do it with a transformer. What else were we going to look at here? The input wattage that this will take is 8,000 watts. And at 80 volts, that's 10 amps. And multiple inverters can charge on the same battery, so that's not a problem in any event. I don't think, other than the sample price, there's nothing else I need on that. Okay, let's go to the next guy. What's this one? Okay, this is a 568. It's a 5048. It weighs 15 kilograms. So this one is also all electronic. But it's got a really nice high 450 volt open circuit voltage. The battery charges 60 amps. Now, the last one we looked at was 80 amps. But if you're going to have more than one inverter, it's not really important. It won't be, it can't be 10% of this that they're making this small. And $568. Like, again, if you're going to parallel some of them, that's not a bad price for 5,000. That's 5 kilowatts, 5,000 watts. You just move the decimal point, 5.000 kilowatts. And model number. Output voltage is the high voltage, 220, 240. Input voltage is 220, 240. That's a good thing because 110 doesn't work in this country. Oh, this has got the weight listed, 13 kilograms. Down here, surge output. This guy's data sheet is screwed up because this thing is the continuous rating is 5,000 watts. Surge output is generally twice 5,000 watts. This brand is MPP Solar, and it has a 1-year warranty. Some of the GrowWatts are 2 years, and there's one GrowWatt that's 5 years. But this is the standard international warranty they have to have to sell it out of their country. But this particular company, I've known people that have had problems 2 years down the road after the warranty was out, and they were all kinds of helpful and sent them replacement circuit boards and stuff. So this is a very reputable company, and that's why they're on our short list. Okay, what's this guy? Okay, when you see hybrid solar system on here, that generally means grid tied. I don't know if it'll say it down here or not. They don't like to say it. But if I remember right, this one here is grid tied. And I think everything with the yellow paint from this company is grid tie. It's also high voltage output 220, 240. And input. It's got 22.7, almost 23 amps of output power. It's single phase. 13 kilograms, that means no honking big transformer. On the battery charger, it will charge 60 amps off of the power grid, and it'll charge 80 amps off of the solar panels. Isn't that odd? You can put more into it from your solar panels than you can the other way. It's a 48 volt unit, and all these ones, unless I've screwed up with my tabs, they're all 48 volt. 48 volt is half the amps at twice the voltage, so the wire size is smaller. The wire's easier to bend, it's easier to put in the connectors. It costs less because there's less copper. Efficiency here. Now, this efficiency is supposed to say maximum inverter efficiency, and that's at the MPPT voltage, or amperage, wattage, 99%. This could drop off to 93% fully loaded or partially loaded. This is a sweet spot efficiency, and you're gonna build a system that operates down from its maximum just for long life of the components. They don't get as hot. So 99 is a high number. 80 is the low number, and I'd kind of stay away from the 80s. They generally use older technology.